That's good.
Wonderful.
And she with the teeth in.
That's great. All right. Hey, Mike.
I am the stone that the builder refused. I am the visual, the inspiration that made ladies sing the blues. I'm the spark that makes your idea bright. The same spark that lights the dark so that you can know your left from your right. I am the ballad in your box, the bullet in the gun, the inner glow that let you know to call your brother son. The story that just begun, the promise of what's to come. And I'ma remain a soldier till the war is won. Chop, 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 judo flip. Chop, 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 judo flip. Chop, chop, chop.
What's good, y'all? Welcome back. My hair's messed up. But welcome back to yet another video, y'all. Welcome back. What's good with y'all? How are y'all doing today? We are back here with yet another video and a review, actually. And it's Thriller 40. The documentary, that is. I mean, it's released on the 41st anniversary of Thriller, but Thriller 40 nevertheless. It took a while for this documentary to really come out. I remember it was supposed to come out January, but they delayed it for some reason to, I guess, make tweaks. But I'm apparently hearing that they didn't even make any tweaks, or barely any at all. Kind of confused about that, MJ Estate, but I digress. So this is going to be my review of the documentary, and what do I think about, you know, the documentary surrounding the highest-selling album of all time, Thriller. You know what I'm saying? This is one of my favorite albums I've ever listened to. I reviewed it. One of my friends actually gave me this last year, and I will always enjoy this album from the bottom of my heart. This album was amazing. If it wasn't for Beat It, which is in the middle of the album, right there, as you can see, I don't think I'd be a Michael Jackson fan. I discovered this song when I was a kid, and yeah. The story goes on. So let's dig in. So in the beginning of the documentary, we're kind of talking about the hype around Thriller. And, you know, the hype was on point. But before they even really get into talking about the hype or the actual album, got the notes, or the actual album in itself, Off the Wall is really spoken about in the top of the album. It's really out there. Off the Wall is an album that really showcased Michael's growth as a musician, as an artist. It really kind of showcase that he's an adult artist now, and he can do this without his brothers, because his first 4 records weren't really spoken about. A lot of didn't really have a lot of attention, but Off the Wall really got that, you know what I'm saying? Off the Wall really got that off the ground, and with the help of Quincy Jones, bro, they made some magic together, you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Off the Wall really showed Michael's ambition, and the documentary states that in the beginning. We see footage of the Jackson 5, the start of his career, you know what I'm saying? And it's good quality footage too. Yeah, Off the Wall was really kind of pushed, because before Thriller, there was Off the Wall, and Off the Wall was on point. It gained a good amount of success. But Thriller was a vengeance. When Off the Wall didn't really win a lot of awards as Michael expected, he left knowing he'll do better. He had a vengeance. A critic also spoke about Michael's insecurities with growing up around 14, 15, and 16, from a kid to an adult. Apparently, some people walked past him and not really care about him when he was a teenager, because they were really looking for a little Michael, and he wasn't a kid no more around that time. And Michael was very insecure about it. And I promise you, I don't mean to talk about the biopic again, but they need to talk about that in the biopic, Michael's insecurities, because clearly he had them. And it was around that time as well when he was one of the best artists at that time. You know what I'm saying? And I'll be honest with you, a little tidbit. I don't know why Brooke Shields is there. I really don't, because it really hurt me to know what she said about Michael recently. So I don't get why she's there. I don't really like that she's there, really. Because all of a sudden, she was kind of disrespecting Michael Jackson this year. And I wasn't really a fan of that. You know what I mean? I wasn't really a fan of that, really. I couldn't really get behind that at all. I was really taken back by it. I'm like, bro, I thought you had Michael's back. And now that he's gone, 14, 15 years after the fact, you're here kind of disrespecting him. Same with Quincy Jones, John Landis, and the director of the Thriller 40 documentary. Like, we got some people in here that have really talked shit about Michael, and I really just don't really like that at all. You know what I mean? I really kind of don't like that. Like, when I look at certain footage within this documentary, this will be my criticism, and I see him having a good time with John Landis and him with Quincy Jones, which I'll give Quincy Jones all the credit in the world. He's an amazing producer, but when he was talking shit about Michael, well, that really kind of lowered my opinion on him, low key, as a person, not as a producer. He's a great producer, but yeah. Same thing with Brooke Shields and the director of the Thriller 40 documentary. Like, the MJS has interesting ways of picking who is a part of Michael Jackson projects nowadays. I will tell you that. Interesting. Because if I was bro, I'm not going to lie, if I was part of the Michael Jackson estate, I'd be like, John, you did great with this. You did great with the video, but you said some BS about Michael. You don't really need to be here. You kind of made your stance clear, you know what I'm saying? Brooke, you made your stance clear. You're not a part of this. You're not a part of this. Oh, we'll find a new director. We'll get Spike Lee back, since you want to say bad things about Michael in the past. If I was the leader, if I was John Branca. Because, I don't know, I feel like having people who talk crap about Michael a part of Michael projects, I don't think that's right. I really don't. That's kind of weird to me, but weird behavior gets rewarded with more time in the movie, I guess. So, yeah, it is what it is. So, yeah, back to the documentary. We actually see the studio that Thriller was recorded in. We see Greg Philliganes talking about the funk, the feeling of the music when he was creating music with Michael. Rod Temperton, the GOAT himself of writers. I love Rod Temperton. He did an amazing job when it came to writing with Michael. He earned a lot of credit. He did an amazing job with this album, and he's responsible for a good amount of songs in Michael's early years. I love that man, bro. Rod Temperton is the GOAT. I don't know why I don't talk about him like that. We need to talk about Rod. Shout out to Ron, bro. Shout out to Ron. Rod. Ooh, I'm sorry. Shout out to Rod. The Waters. It's a little group. They were speaking about Michael's work ethic and praising that, you know what I'm saying? I don't like how, what's it called? What did they say? They said that Michael said, apparently they were asking Michael what's want to be, it want to be side of something, right? What does Mama say, Mama Kusa mean, right? And then Michael said, I don't know, just go along with it, something like that. And I'm like, let's talk about it. Let's talk about the origins of that song. Of that phrase, right? But they kind of didn't, which is kind of interesting. I wish they kind of dove into that. Of not knowing what that is. Like, bro, they know what that is. Come on now. But yeah, Want to Be Started Something Yet, spoken about. Great song, great funky hit. You know what I'm saying? I love that song. It's very magical in a way. And Michael's voice from 2001 in October, I believe, was spoken about. Well, not spoken about, but we could hear him speaking in 2001, a recording of his voice. I thought that was nice, you know what I'm saying? Later, Michael, you know what I'm saying, is featured in the documentary, Get Him Out, you know what I'm saying? Billie Jean, no, that's really hit, you feel me? If we're going to talk about it, that's really kind of, that's definitely spoken about throughout the documentary is Billie Jean, the song. Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis, they talk about the way Michael composed Billie Jean, and how Michael incorporated all these different sounds with his voice. You know what I'm saying, like the ad libs, and it was great. You know what I'm saying? It was great to them. They really showed Michael a lot of love with the way they spoke about Billie Jean, and it was amazing. Usher, he talks about the song. He calls it toxic R&B, and the story about Billie Jean makes him more interested in Michael Jackson, whether it's a baby mama issue or, you know, a crazed fan or whatever it is. It made him more interested in the artist, the story of it all. You know what I'm saying? The director of the Billie Jean video was in the documentary, and the lights standing up in the video is, you know, the ones that Michael, you know, he dances on, he steps on in the Billie Jean video, is talked about. Talks about, oh, you know, just what lights do you want on, what lights can we afford to put on to, you know, light up on the street. And then Michael, he danced on everything. He danced on every single one of them, and it worked. And I remember in the documentary, they were also talking about the director didn't really get a lot of footage of him dancing. There was a lot of waist up shots, but it still worked out because the video did amazing. It looked very natural and very, very interesting, very cool, to say the least. And MJ refused to play. I mean, MTV refused to play MJ's music video. Walter Yetnikoff, hope I said that right, believed that MTV was racist and argued for MJ's video to be played on MTV. And when it did, that broke barriers for other black artists. A new generation of artists, of black artists, were on MTV to this day. And it's because of Michael. Michael was the one who really pushed MTV to do that. And shout out to Walter Yetnikoff too, because he really helped as well. The new generation of Michael Jackson fans, now that we get on that topic of generation, was spoken about in the documentary. We see different TikToks of people who were dancing to Michael's songs, people who were dancing to Michael's Billie Jean. We see the videos, and it's over millions and millions and millions of different videos of people, of kids my age and even younger as well, just having a great time to Michael's videos and songs on TikTok. And I thought that was very interesting that they showcased. You know what I'm saying? And Michael was also speaking about, in the documentary next up, is Michael speaking about how other artists weren't creating good videos, good music videos. And he wanted to create a story more than just a video. You know what I mean? And basically saying, you know, I don't like what else is going. I don't like what I'm seeing in music videos. So let me take upon myself to do better. And then Billie Jean not Billie Jean. Beat It is next. Beat It is spoken out. Eddie Van Halen, rest in peace, is spoken about, and his amazing guitar solo is shown throughout this part of the documentary. And Michael wanted to attract more young white audiences. And Eddie Van Halen, I hope I said that right. Is it Van Halen or Van Halen? I'm sorry. Was that outlet? You know what I'm saying? That was a hit. You know, and Eddie really put his foot into that guitar solo, and it's very iconic as well. And the video with Beat It, you know, that, like I said, that was the first Michael Jackson song and video I've ever watched, listened to, and I'm thankful for that. I really am. Motown 25. The amazing performance of Billie Jean. Let's get into it. So, Motown 25, you know, while they're talking about it, After Michael was done performing with his brothers started walking off the stage, and Michael is still there, right? And people are wondering what's going to happen next, right? People are wondering what's going to happen next. Why is Michael still here, right? Why is Michael still on stage? And then Michael just continues to wow the audience with Billie Jean. He starts dancing on stage. He does the new song that he was talking about at the time. And it was such a shock to everybody. And everybody was on their feet, bro. Everybody was on their feet. Everybody was going head over heels for this performance, bro. When we see in the video, it was said that when we see footage of, the fans and the people in the audience, right, that were watching the performance, right, they were like, wow, you know what I'm saying? Apparently the magic that was captured by the cameras was not fully there, was not fully realized. You know what I'm saying? The capture didn't capture enough of the essence of the crowd and how crazy everybody went over Michael's performance. Great stuff right there. MJ's movies were timeless. It was said that in the documentary that Michael's physique and body was excellent when it came to dancing. He wasn't a trained dancer. You know what I mean? He wasn't a trained dancer, I guess. But he was dancing like he was. And he was on point. You know what I'm saying? And it was also said, like I said, his moves were timeless. Like the finger snap, the ankle kick, you know what I'm saying? The hat flip, the hands, the feet, everything. Certain things were very timeless. And you know that that's Michael when you see it. The next generation was also talked about once again. When we would see people like Justin Bieber, Usher, Bruno Mars. I think I just said Justin Bieber. Polo G was here. Hey, shout out to him. BTS, you know what I'm saying? The emphasis of Michael's imagery is still here to this day. And the generation that Michael influenced was definitely spoken about. And yeah, incredible. The E.T. album was spoken about. Michael was doing the E.T. soundtrack, I believe, around the same time as Thriller, and the lawsuit story. I thought that was pretty interesting, by the way, because I remember hearing "Somewhere in the Dark" that Michael sung on the E.T. album. That was beautiful. That is a beautiful song. I really do love "Someone in the Dark." "Someone in the Dark." I hope I said that right. Yeah, that's a beautiful song, by the way. Great, interesting story of the lawsuit with E.T. and Michael Jackson. I thought that was very interesting. Then we go to Carousel. Carousel gets some love. Carousel gets some love on the documentary. But Carousel wasn't into the album because it was chosen. No, Human Nature was chosen over Carousel because there were two similar songs, and Quincy's like, nah, we'll just do Human Nature over Carousel because those two are kind of very similar. Next, Victory Tour footage is shown in high definition quality. And I'll be honest with y'all, we need an entire Victory Tour show put in high definition quality, bro, because this was amazing what we saw in this documentary. We see him singing Human Nature in the Victory Tour footage, and we need that. I need more footage of the Victory Tour. Like, come on now. It was also said that when Thriller, the album, fell to number 2, when it finally fell off the charts, Michael panicked. Michael wanted to get more publicity on the album and get more promotion on the album as much as possible so people can go get it, even more than they already were. And, it was said that Michael's team was promoting. They were doing what they could. You know what I'm saying? They were doing everything they could, and it was working. But next up, what we talk about is the Thriller video, and there we go. There we go. The Thriller video, yeah, right. Michael wanted to work with John Landis after he saw a movie that he directed, American Werewolf, and Michael loved the imagery and stuff in it, and he wanted to work with it. And John Landis thought Michael was still a kid by the time Michael wanted to work with him and called him, which is, I thought that was funny. We get a lot of BTS of the Thriller video. And they thought it was fun. Like, I love seeing Michael happy and stuff like that, and young. And we see a lot of love for Michael. We see a lot of passion and energy when it came to Michael around this time. And he was dancing with Ola Ray, and I have mixed feelings on Ola Ray as well, kinda. But yeah, Michael was really on it around that time, and it was really exciting to see him young again, and new footage of him too. New footage. We also see the Thriller video dropping, and everybody's around to see it. Mary J. Blige talks about it. Usher talks about it. We see some big names in this documentary talk about it, and everybody loved it. Everybody loved the video. You know what I'm saying? Everybody loved the video. I think Mary J. Blige was talking about the Billie Jean video, but hey, Mary J. still loved the Thriller video. Like I said, my dad was around this time and said that Michael Mania was everywhere. I mean, everybody and their mom was trying to see this music video. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, people from work even was saying that when Michael dropped Thriller, where everybody dropped themselves. You feel me, man? People were cutting school to watch the video. Kids were cutting school to see the video. People were coming home from work just to see the video. People took the day off from work to see it. People were trying to watch that video as soon as they could. And it paid off. It really did. It's very magical. And we see people from, it's also been said that people from Mexico be dancing to Thriller like it just dropped yesterday. Like it just dropped the other day. You know what I'm saying? And we see a whole flash mob of Thriller in Mexico. People really enjoying it. That's the type of worldwide success Michael had, bro. To this day, man, I miss Michael so much. I really do. I miss that man, bro. I want to know what he'll be making right now. I want to know what music he'll be making, or what films he'll be making, because I know that was his passion too, was filmmaking. You know what I'm saying? He's hounded everywhere. You know what I'm saying? He stalked. He is like everybody loves him, bro. You feel me? His fans are everywhere, literally everywhere. And he also wanted to tour as a solo artist after the Thriller video dropped. But we all know about Papa Joe forces him to tour his family. You know what I'm saying? Michael didn't want to do it at first, but he ended up doing it. The Victory Tour was great, by the way. But I always wanted to see Michael have a Thriller World Tour. We didn't see an Off the Wall World Tour. I want to see a Thriller World Tour. You know what I'm saying? Imagine that one. Oh, that would have been beautiful. But Victory Tour was great too. I love the Victory Tour. But then we also see the Pepsi commercial incident. They talk about that. And Michael's the picture of him in the glove and him wrapped up. You know, and Michael didn't even like Pepsi. He didn't even drink Pepsi. I mean, I kind of knew that from the old Jackson's American Dream movie. Michael didn't even drink Pepsi. He didn't even want to do. He didn't even like Pepsi. You know what I'm saying? He was against it. And guess what? If he listened to his gut, or if I guess the people around him listened to him, he wouldn't have done the Thriller commercial. The Pepsi commercial. And after that, he had the Pepsi commercial burn, whatever, because they went through a second take. And it burned his scalp severely, and he had to take painkillers on it for the rest of his life because he always had pain in that area. So yeah, that was the most sad part of the documentary, was talking about that, I would say, and his insecurities earlier. But this really kind of, you know what I'm saying? Like, bro, I'm glad to see a documentary that doesn't talk about the issues, but you know, like always had something going on in his life that was just, there's always something down about him, man. But we see more footage of him on stage because he had to keep going. You know, he had things that he had to keep doing, and it's unfortunate that the hair incident happened to him. But You know, the show must go on. He had to keep going with all of his stuff that he had to take care of. And in the end of the documentary, you know, so I'll go ahead and wrap it up here. We see all the success, the awards he would get, the love, the fame, success, the generations that he just influenced. Like, we see it all in the end. And that was the end of the documentary. Thriller 40, y'all. Thriller 40, released on the 41st anniversary of Thriller. I'll say that. I'll always say that. But let me stop playing. This is a great documentary. I really did enjoy it. I'm not gonna lie, an hour and 28 minutes? Huh. That's a very short. I'm not gonna lie to you. I thought that was very short. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't too long, but I'm saying, like, I thought that was kind of like very short. It was a very short kind of documentary. Very short. For the highest selling album of all time. But I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't really. There's a lot more they could dive into. You know what I'm saying? If I could say one thing, I was kind of sick that they didn't talk about PYT, especially Lady in My Life. Like, Lady in My Life never got mentioned once, I don't think. And that kind of pisses me off because I love Lady in My Life. That song is an amazing song. It's an easy top 4 song on the album. One of the top 4 songs on the album. Lady in My Life is amazing. I don't know why they didn't talk about that like that. I really do wish we could have got more love for that. I'm glad Michael didn't listen to his team for Thriller, bro. I'm really glad because, you know, his team was really kind of against the whole Thriller video, or at least certain aspects of it. But he was like, no, I'm doing this. And I'm glad that he listened to his gut. It's interesting that the family wasn't really in the documentary like that. I mean, we have Brooke Shields, but not the family. Like, I'm kind of interested about that. I mean, that's not really a criticism, but I'll just say that's very interesting. But yeah, we got HD footage. I love the HD footage. So the documentary was great. I really did enjoy it. I had no problem with it. No, I did. I just kind of said them. But it wasn't too much. Nothing about the documentary really kind of made me be like, oh, I don't like what this is. I don't really like what I'm watching. I love what I was watching. It was very interesting to see. A good amount of stuff that we didn't know about before. But I do kind of wish we kind of got a little bit more too. Maybe the documentary was a bit more longer. We could have gotten a bit more information based off of like certain songs, certain dances and stuff. And stuff like that. So, yeah, that was amazing. I hope y'all really enjoyed the documentary. I hope y'all enjoyed every single ounce of the film. The film was on point. I cannot wait to I'm not gonna lie, I want to see what else is Michael Jackson's take going to shoot out. I really do. I wonder now, because this was pretty good. This is on point, you know, to celebrate the amazing success of Thriller. And I wonder what they're going to do for Thriller 50. Thriller 50 is going to be interesting. So, yeah.